Hey all, and so I've run into a very not so good situation now. See, if you can see here, I just got my eviction notice. As of today, REM Central Lakes Inc. on 8/28/2018 regarding my service terminations, also known as an eviction. Most of the stuff I've been told verbal from staff to me, so I stopped listening to them, and in a sense, put this way, active listening. I just listen so I can observe what they say. Every time they ask me something or say something, it is recorded. I have videos, pictures. I started doing a daily blog. The day in the life of a vulnerable behind closed doors of a group. How are they okay to do this? I believe they're just me due to the fact they know I'm right and they want to come. So I got my eviction letter, and as in all the prior videos, the pathetic two of which are lies. Actually, most of them are. One is only true, and then now they only pretend that it's okay. It says basically I don't know if this means termination of caddy right as well, but it says the purpose of the correspondence is to provide you notice of service termination, basically an eviction, from our REM Central Lakes Inc. Fairfield Court Home Program. You are currently receiving CRS services. I don't even know what the heck that is. I know of a caddy waiver. Again, see, I would have normally known that had they provided me with the information I needed for, when I've asked numerous times, and it's always, yeah, I'll get it later. I'm like, no, I need it now, please. Nope, denied. For the caddy waiver, the effective date of the service termination is 10/27/2018. So I need the 7th of next month, I think. I don't exactly know. I'm 27 years old, and this is the first eviction I've ever had in my history of renting since 18. And the reason for service terminations, the first one, I think they're just trying to cover their butt and say, well, we do care. If you cared about my needs and if my welfare were met at this facility, I would not have to report all of the legitimate, real, truthful, authentic reasons why this home should be shut down, or at least temporarily shut down for federal investigation. I have tried to reach out to DHS. I've called people numerous times, left voicemails. And, it's quite easy to, without an investigation, to say, oh, we never got the voicemail. She never dialed. She never called. I have, because I don't delete my phone records. I pretty much don't delete anything that's ever sent to me due to, in case this stuff ever happened. And I'm very grateful I listened to that. I have every original email that has been sent to me between my home staff and my guardian. The ones I have sent. In one email I still have up and running, but I in a sense it's protected, so I can't respond with that particular email I'm using. Like, I have a new one, but it's I guess you could say attached and immediately sent to as on invocation mode to my new email that no one has but me, and it will stay that way due to I feel unsafe. I feel my rights are actually violated completely. And then the next one the first one, the reason was termination is necessary for your well needs cannot be met in this facility. Because you're not meeting them or even working with me on it, and then you say I'm rebelling and refusing to attempted. No, I don't have visitors come here anymore because of the lies they've done, and because of what they see me going through stresses them out and brings flashbacks and PTSD from the same stuff that happened in a REM company group home. Boys, girls, and co-ed. And the second one was the health of you or others in the program would be otherwise endangered. So they're blaming that my health is endangered and others. Okay, well, obviously the home needs to be shut down. I will be showing you also the black mold photos at the end in the link of the website I have for the day in the life of a vulnerable adult and why group homes get away. I've been researching. There are legit facts: government, state, federal, judicial, they're all the things I've gathered and I've said are actually real truthful. And then prior to giving this service termination notice, the program has at a minimum, very low, consulted with your support team or expanded support team, identified and resolved issues leading up to the issuance of this notice. They have not. If they have, why am I still living with toxic, by the way, black mold? I have looked up the difference between black mold and toxic black mold. That is why I've been so sick in here. Nasally, stuffed up, swollen throat, nausea, severe headache. That's all signs of toxic mold infestation. And it's not just from how my room was. In fact, I looked it up. It doesn't just grow on the outside. It grows from inside walls and then to the outside, which means I obviously went inside the wall and just did something. Then yeah, but I can't. Obviously, I'm not like, I can't time travel, like duh. And then the other one was they made a request to my case manager for intervention services or other professional consultant or intervention services to support you in this program. I never got told that. I never had anything happen. I've been stuck here, unfortunately. And they just go on and on about the dates that half the time never even happened. In fact, one that kind of upset me, they shouldn't lie about law enforcement like that. They're meant to protect and serve, not to protect and serve and then get backlash by staff. It states on 8/26/18, when it was actually 8/24/18, they put the 26th instead of the 24th on a hand-signed notice. Law enforcement indicated the state of my room as health hazardous and intervened with staff to remove excess garbage. In fact, it wasn't intervened. It was supposed to happen on the 24th with the officer who was there without having an officer present. However, again, they went back to she's got anxiety and paranoid thinking and she's aggressive. I have not been physically aggressive or actually hurt anyone under 18 years of age or older. I did used to hurt inanimate objects, but not people or animals or nothing. I used to punch metal walls and dent them. That's how bad it was at my old group home, but that was way back in 2011 to 2012. And then back in 2013 or 14, I was meant to move out on my own. And then I personally, that was my fault. I dug my heels in and I rebelled against it, and because I was scared, I didn't want to move out on my own. I didn't know how to do it or what to do or anything. And they said, well, service will be there. I said, no, I don't want to. And I purposely had a behavior so I could stay there. I can easily get the documents from that as well. And then that's the only, because when the police officer came, I was like, what? Well, like, she was the one who opened the door. Like, in order to feel safe away from the abuse and neglect, I have to physically lock my door. That staff, I cannot stress enough, they have a key. They refuse to use it unless it involves emergency uses, which would be a police. But when I read the policies online for group homes and the ADA and all that vulnerable stuff, they have a right to come in if it has to do with health and safety. They have not. I mean, as you can see, my room is not as messy, and they say they did it. That's not true. My room has no garbage on the floor whatsoever. All the garbage was removed when the officer was here because they feared that I was going to harm them or myself. In fact, I have no scars or anything from the self-harm they claimed I have done. And on the 16th, I was told, and I have it on recording, I was getting mad, yes. I have the whole thing, the whole meeting on recording from start to end. In fact, I had a phone call come in during it, and it was my husband, and he was quite angry. That's also on there. Well, you should have had me on the call and, whatever. I said, I can't. I'm in a meeting right now, and I hung up. I chose not to have him involved. I wanted to prove that I can do this on my own, and I have so far, except it's pretty one-sided. They don't investigate my side at all as much as they do hardcore to the residential home and the guardianship company. I did state I did tell when we had a move-out date on 8/16/18, I did present my plan to my guardian directly. I was speaking to her, looked her in the eyes, and said, I want to live with my boyfriend in our apartment, which is already ours. in Waseca, Minnesota. And then during the meeting, it says her legal guardian stated she did not approve of that. She never said she didn't approve. Yes, this is wordplay. However, due to legal issues, wordplay is actually sometimes good. I have it on recording. It didn't say she did not approve. She said, I suggest. Which means I could just as easily as up and leave today and move there, and there's not anything they could do about it. Police get called. I show them this. I show them everything else. And I show them the law according to a St. Cloud that they don't even follow, and I'll just, okay, you can't do anything. And they'll let me leave. However, I will not do that because I have no ride there. And I don't want to, it's dark. I don't feel safe out at night alone, so due to my anxiety. And then they had me admitted, and my guardian told me it wasn't due to anxiety and paranoid thinking. When she started calling and they went outside to talk to the people, the whole team did. I was only left, honestly. No, it's okay to just walk away and be like, oh, and I'm getting you admitted. You need to get eval. I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. Was how my guardian acted. So then their terms of what they said actually versus what is on my video and voice recording was her anxiety and paranoid thinking escalated to the point where her guardian requested that she be evaluated in the ER. I was transported by a police officer who was here the day they were supposedly scared that I was escalating and they had to call. It said I signed a contract to not engage in self-harm. I wasn't self-harming myself. I was told by my mother and staff, you always sign one? No, not always. I actually contacted the filing, the administration, and I had asked a certain proper person that they transferred to you if that's true, and they said they only have you sign a contract if they find a legit real reason, like your self-harm or you're in harm of others. That's not true. And I did return home. However, according to the thing I have regarding the appointment, so basically the discharge papers I have versus what they're saying are not matching up at all. The discharge paper says the reason for evaluation is anxiety by the doctor, and the psychological evaluation, the access behavioral nurse said it's due to situational stress. And that would be, right now, my situational stress is this whole entire home and the company, the way it's run. And also my guardian, the way she's handling this, and she has been aware. And I don't know how many times I have to reach out for help. I have reported accurately, and just because they can get away with it, they will. This is kind of what I've been told by people who went through the same thing. And this is how they ended up getting help, is they had to go on run and go incognito because that's the only way they got help. And then afterwards, they filed a lawsuit, and that's how this one got shut down the first time. In fact, I know multiple survivors of this kind of stuff. Sorry, my phone's kind of crooked. It's this way instead of that way, so it looks like I'm looking that way. But yes, and they've also violated 245D .04, all sections, and the Minnesota State Statutes 2017 revised. A statute is a state judicial or federal laws that in both residential group home settings and nursing homes, anything that deals with vulnerable adults, home, in-home, out-of-home services are categorized as that. 245D.22 subsections 1, 2, and 3, pretty much all of it. Protection standards, health and sanitation have been violated here one too many times. I mean, obviously, toxic black mold and how severe it is right now, there's no way that I caused it because it grows from inside walls. And I do know we have infestation of bugs. Not only that, termites. I have showed videos of the bugs themselves. I don't know what it's going to take to actually have someone here and be like, this house is done. I'm sorry. This house is pretty much condemned, literally, because it already said as previous. The law enforcement, he told me, word of mouth, he even said, like, if it doesn't get fixed, this home will be shut down. It's already reached violation limits. They're stretching it thin with them. I do have multiple lawyers, and that is being honest. When I said I was going to file lawsuits, I wasn't lying. It's true. I have 3 since being here, there's four cases for separate things. There's civil rights that I'm filing. Spoke to my lawyer today. Debt consolidation and counseling. Actually, I have an appointment with that coming up tomorrow via email and telephone. And I have one for the, let's see, so I have debt, civil rights, family law with my guardian, because she's been aware of this and in fact has allowed it to happen. And what I have researched on reliable government sites and state sites and county sites. A job of a guardian is to protect the vulnerable adult or person or that are to them, to protect their needs, their wants, their health, and safety. She has done none. In fact, since living here, I've had no underwear whatsoever that actually fit or are okay to wear. I've been going commando. I have to. I have no money to buy underwear, not enough to buy my needs. I have enough to basically get the basics. And even now I don't. I've had to have friends bring over hygiene products. Prior to that, I would have shampoo, conditioner, body wash, lotion, scrubs, toothbrush, toothpaste. I have all that. The only thing I have been neglected with, and I have mentioned to my guardian multiple times, and she's mentioned something about clothing programs and that she'd refer me. Well, I never hear back. So supposedly they called the house phone. And I've looked at the caller ID, and half the time there's several missed calls a day. If it's for me and they don't recognize it, they don't pick up and they do not answer unless they know the number and know where it's coming from. Also, I have pictures stating on their daily tasks for all clients, including myself. And on the very end, they are supposed to delete voicemails at end of every shift, which is usually 3 shifts. There's morning shift, afternoon shift, and then night shift. And delete all caller ID. I don't know how they do that, but I mean, they can maybe call the phone company, maybe. All I know is how to delete the read out, just one thing. That's it. And I've done that for myself due to protection. So let me ask this, out of curiosity: a definition of a vulnerable adult is a vulnerable adult who is 18 years of age or older, who has a physical, mental, or emotional disorder that makes it difficult for the person to care for themselves without help and to protect themselves from maltreatment. Can't do that. As far as I'm concerned, I have done every step possible to protect myself from maltreatment, and I'm not having difficulty actually taking care of. I have mental disorders, and actually they call them disorders. It should be disabilities, but I've dealt with them just fine. In fact, I've removed myself from further potential situations of verbal aggression from staff and to clients. The step I've had to take, granted it's not healthy, but there's no other way that anyone has even been willing or attempted or have even tried to fix the problem. They turn around and blame that I'm the problem. I don't get informed of anything regarding my care. Today was the first time staff ever have even attempted to try and talk to me. They've never even come in my room while I'm awake. They don't knock and say, "Hey, can I come in?" I'd gladly say yeah, and then I'd be like, "Okay, you can leave now. You saw my room, go." They don't associate with me. And then the second part of that is in a transitional care or group home. I am, but they're against all 245D. I have the rights highlighted. They have violated ADA, the Vulnerable Adult Acts, you name it, they've violated it. And I've researched, I've talked to government officials, state officials. What is it going to take? Honestly, I know I'm not the only person going through this. And look, this is exactly, I wrote it down on this paper here, as you can see, from a legitimate U.S. site for state, that's the state definition of a vulnerable adult. Now, I could go on and on about the federal government, everything, but the problem is they say I'm paranoid due to having bed bugs and I still have licensed bed bugs. I have pictures of what they look like. They don't come out, bed bugs don't come out during the day. It's when lights are off, and that's when all of a sudden I've killed a couple. Those things are hard to kill, but you can suffocate them, which is really hard to do too. But you have to put a cup over them, and then put a piece of paper, and then leave it there if they don't eat through the paper, that is. Sometimes they've eaten through the paper, and I'm just like, crap, I have to throw it away. But so how is this not a severe health violation? The fire escape plan I have is from 8/1/1995, and it was posted prior. It's still there. And they told me they were going to update it. They have not come into my room. I've been awake 2 days in a row, going on 3 for a few, from 11 a.m. today until literally 5 o'clock. So I am exhausted. I am trying to make do with the best I have from trying to take care of myself to eating. But now that they know I go down, everyone's up and awake. Then my roommates are awake way later than they ever used to be, and so I'm pretty much not gonna feel comfortable going down there if they're near me or even in the same room. So I'm not gonna have that right taken away from them, but I'm just gonna remove myself from the situation and do as best as I can. And you know what? It's actually been quite positive for me. The positives to it all is I have been able to research without interference of staff or clients and find from ethical are accredited too many laws and rules and regulations at this home. Then why are they still up and running? Because I know why. The guardians will cover their hiney. And see, the other clients' guardians are being told something different, that it caused from a certain peer and et cetera, et cetera. But do they know the truth? If they knew the truth, they'd be like, oh God, yeah. They would even, I guarantee you, they'd probably try and help shut down the home. I have multiple people, not only that have lived in a group homes, but they're non-vulnerable adults. Like, they have their own family and kids, and they even know what's going on is wrong. In fact, there's another group home not too far out of where mine is, and where my husband used to live, his ex group home actually put him through the same exact situation I'm going through right now. And I helped him get out of that, like I did. And so did an ex-friend who refuses to come here, who isn't our friend due to half the crap they do here. And yes, I'm still married. They say I'm not, and that he's my boyfriend. That is not true. If that was true, why am I wearing a brand new ring that he gave me when it used to be 2 blue hearts and that colored stone? This is brand new. He gave this to me. He re-proposed because the other one broke. The stones fell out. The 2 sapphires fell out. So yeah, we're married. We have everything set in place down there. Services. I have the services, and all he's got to do is get his mother's approval, which I know something that no one else knows. I won't say it because that's how they use it against me, like in an eviction letter. But I have until next month on the 27th, so 10/27/2018, to move out somewhere. I don't know where I'm going because it's kind of hard to go anywhere if I cannot get applications, which I have an email stating that I am approved to move into my own apartment, provided I can afford it. I don't need a co-signer. Well, in the apartments and places I'll be moving, you don't need a co-signer. So, and you never usually need a co-signer unless it's a non-low income or subsidized home or housing. Then you don't need a co-signer. But if it's not that, then you do need a co-signer. Like regular apartments, like student housing, you need co-signers and all that. But I even have the actual legitimate application filled out when I was down there, and all I was gonna do was wait for the $30 that were. There's actually 2. It was supposed to be sent to his old eviction address, actually the rental office, because the rental office, and then they got the mailbox nearby, so it doesn't actually get delivered to the apartments themselves. And I mean, there's like 8 or 9 different units. I have the person's name, and you're more than welcome. Everyone else there, they have always had bad issues with my sister. In fact, I'll just give you the number: 507-388-2543, and they will definitely say I was a very pleasant young lady. I actually got applications from them too. The only thing that was caused there was they did not like my sister Brooke there. They knew her there. They didn't appreciate her at all, the way she treated everyone, and has actually falsely accused multiple things upon people that work there and everything. And yet she has the nerve to involve the police and have me escorted by an officer who even told me that, I don't see what the problem is. Why is she evicting me? I don't freaking know. Like, I'm supposed to go home on the 10th today. And he was like, yeah. And your staff's coming to get you? I said, no, she's supposed to. And my sister's being verbally aggressive. And he even told her, he's like, stop, I'm not talking to you. And he looks at me He's like, is that true? I'm like, yeah, she's supposed to bring me home. I will go home and I will gladly send you the signature on the date 8/1/2018. BM is her signature. So Brooke Moose, she picked me up and told staff she agreed to bring me home on the 10th by 9 o'clock. That never happened. In fact, she didn't communicate with me half the time because she didn't want me in the apartment during the day for whatever reason. So I'd go, I'd go hang out at the spa area or the game room, or just hang around on campus in the rental office area, and whatever she was doing at home, I don't know. But I do know I'm quite upset with her. I don't know why she thinks it's okay to do so. I mean, I can kind of only assume. I mean, because that's the way that's the way I gained guardianship over me in the first place. Like, professionals had to take it because of the stuff that she's doing now. And I know if I've advocated, I've gathered authentic proof and evidence and dates and times, statutes, laws, regulations, codes, violations. I have all of that here. The staff don't know. They can say they do and they don't, but they never ask for it. And if they did, I do admit, take me to court if you want to see it, because that's what I'm doing. I'm taking them to court because of this. But you'd want to speak to anyone who, well, there's an assistant general manager, but you want to speak to the actual general, the Summit in Jacob Heights, and they will definitely tell you Brooke's rental history is very horrible. She's had 3 notices of late payment or more, and she's being evicted. So why are they turning around and blaming me? Because I was told, okay, it got so bad. I have legitimate diagnosed PTSD due to stress situations and just regular and from past traumatic experiences. And when this is one, and I try not to because it makes me cry and it freaks me out. My guardian knew that I needed to go to the urgent care to go get my wrists looked at because of a certain issue with someone. And I went in, I didn't have no ride to get there, so I tried calling my insurance and like, oh, you're not covered on the transportation thing where like my insurance would pay for a cab or whatnot. So it sucked because I ended up having to go. I almost got a cab ride until I guess I was told by one of the maintenance people, I'm like, they said the ambulance is coming. I'm like, wait, what? Why? They're like, well, your sister said you were like in severe pain and you were bleeding. I'm like, wait, hold on, what? I've been sitting right here in the rental office. How's that possible? And they're like, I don't know, I just overheard it. I'm like, yeah, go figured. She's a label diagnosed as pathological liar, and she ended her services. And then I was told that I did. No, because I don't go through Blue Earth County, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm through Stearns or Benton, sometimes Hennepin, because that's where originally everything started from. I guess I don't really know why it's okay for all this stuff to be going on. I never will. I mean, everybody has their own reasons for doing it to people, but someone should totally investigate this like hardcore as soon as possible. Since February 1st, verbal here and there, I've let it go. And then come April 1st, when I filed for my own guardianship, I still haven't seen the packet that, the decent sized vanilla envelope about yay big from Stearns County to me, not to anyone else. I still haven't seen that. So I know they're withholding my mail, which is a federal offense, can be a huge fine and 5 years in jail, or both. One or the other, or both. And I know for a fact they're doing so. They let a client go get the mail. Staff don't do it. Typically at my old home, they avoided a client doing that just because when mail went missing there too, they had the same investigation looked into. They said they'd fix it by staff going to get the mail, but then it persisted with that person. So then no one was allowed to get the mail unless the client did with staff. And then they put the mail in a certain area, and then we all grabbed our own mail. There's been designated spots I posted. They don't do it. I haven't had mail. The last time I checked my mail was Friday. Well, technically it'd be Saturday because it was at like 1 a.m. I checked. I had a note there, the first note in forever. No date, so I don't know when they wrote it. It could have been there for weeks, months. I don't know. It was on the purple sticky note. They usually use different colors here. I don't have any sticky notes unless they're the big honkin' sizes, so I know they're not my sticky notes. I don't know. This needs to be dealt with, like in an urgent situation here. I know I'm wrongfully accused of being evicted. I do admit I've had issues throughout with my room. However, due to my disability, and it will definitely, I can definitely show you in the reports where I need kind, gentle reminders, not firm, mean ones, and they never do. They just ask. Asking is not a reminder, and in my mind, for my disability, because I forget short and long term, I will not remember unless they say, "Hey, can you do this?" And they have to be persistent. And then after a while, once I have it memorized that, okay, I have to do this on this day around this time, then I can do it. But they have not reached out to do that nor attempted to, if any, hardly. Also, I've reached out to federal. Somebody out there watching this needs to help me, please. Hire an investigator if you gotta, because it's a very one-sided situation right now that has turned into a big issue, and I'm getting blamed for it all. I have admitted my parts, but that's still not good enough for them. I don't know. I don't know what will ever show that I'm the victim in this and not the company and home themselves. I don't. I need an OFP and an HRO against my guardian and the home. It gets so bad, and I don't have rides anywhere. And every time they're like, "Go see the doctor," I'm like, "Yeah, I would. I have gone downstairs and asked. In fact, I have documented times I set up appointments. They don't set them up for me, and if they do, then that's against what I was told when I moved in. I manage my own everything, and if they change that, then I was totally unaware, never communicated with. Like that. That's typical for me with the staff. They don't communicate much with me. The only time they ever, oh my head. The only time they ever come upstairs is when they ask, here and there, very rarely, if I want my medication and I have denied. I have a right to deny it due to a certain issue. And then they also have stolen one of my medications I kept in my room and managed myself. Now, I spent all last night and until today around 11 looking for it in the spots I had it, and it is not there. It was prescribed by a doctor. It is truthful, and if they do look on call and look, they will say it wasn't, that it was negative and it didn't exist. That's not true. I actually went to a friend's home and they helped me with that, and it is true. In fact, I'm backed up. I don't know what else to do. I literally have real legit top lawyers that have dealt with cases just like this. But and I know lawyer cases take time, but I've also been trying to get an emergency protection service order from the court, and that's hard because you have to go in to do it. Yeah, with no rides, I cannot go there. And even if I did, I would rather have a friend do it because I don't trust staff. They have made me sit in the far back and in the middle seat because they don't trust me. Well, that's mutual. I don't trust them. But I do need to get that order for protection to withdrawal services. I did ask. I was told by someone to ask them to withdraw the service of guardianship. I have, and my guardian's response was just rude. It was, "No, I'm not going to do that," in that exact way, but in her own voice. My husband has recordings of her when she has done the same exact thing to him, her as in Nisreen Abduhab did, through LSS. In fact, they coerced him into, basically manipulated him into dropping charges and lawsuits against the LSS company, because supposedly they strike a deal, whatever. Sorry. Again, when I'm like this, I don't feel good, and I have, due to situational stuff, and being weak, I'm kind of slurring speech and stuff. But how is it okay to get treated this way? Oh, sorry. And I get blamed for it. I mean, I'll show you the letter, so I have at least proof on my daily vlogs of this stuff. So at least you can look on my daily vlogs and be like, yeah, it was, And I mean, I wrote different notes, but this was a letter it came in, REM. I can't show specifically those notes, but as you can see here, I'm going to turn it around and you can look. Here is the date of hold on, the REM Central Lakes Inc. It's not Central Lakes, it's Inc. But they put it as Central Lakes on here. And then here is, I don't know if I'm supposed to get an eviction letter, or is it supposed to be addressed to my guardian? Because this is clearly, as you can see, addressed. This is me here. And this is my guardian. She's through LSS, so make sure you get that name down real good. And have an investigator or whomever right here through Lutheran Social Services. And here's the reason why they're terminating the rights, supposedly, is termination is necessary for my welfare and your needs cannot be met in this facility. Well, yeah, it hasn't been since you started February 1st. And then the health of you or others in the program would otherwise be in danger. I'm not just the only one endangered here, everybody is, due to how they're being treated. Prior to giving service termination notice, the program has, at minimum, and I was unaware they even talked to my support team, just Nazreen. I haven't heard from anyone else. And they made a request to my case manager for intervention services or other professional consultations or intervention service to support you in this program. I was never verified that even happened. This one here is actually news to me. The whole is news to me. I never knew that my case manager, which would be my caddy worker, Alexandra Fredrickson, I was told she was on maternity leave by an Emily Goman, who supposedly took over her case. I don't know. Again, see, that's how much I'm not communicated, and I have attempted to leave multiple voicemails. And if people were to investigate that, they'd see how many times I've actually. And this is handwritten. This is handwritten and then copied, so it looks like it's actually signed by hand, but it's not. And this is I'm about to point out here. He's had issues with other friends I know. This particular right here, this whole company has. And then this is the date it was mailed to. Everybody was today, 8/28/18, was mailed to me. I'm the person, Nizan Abdu Habdi, my legal guardian, but they put that, which is kind of the same thing in a sense, but just a little different type. My case manager / sus was sent to Alexandra Fredrickson in Stearns County. I have a representative payee as well, but that's kind of it's kind of gray area right now, as I've been trying to attempt to reach Rachel Wallace at Independent Lifestyles, and I have not been able to reach her. I've called the rep pay hotline multiple times. I just, yeah. So I don't know, and I was just told to get a consultation due to what I just turned in for the home safety, and so I'm gonna give them a call here quick. But it said contact us immediately today and they gave me the number and email, so I'm gonna call them, see if maybe they can do some immediate help. I've also call me, and they didn't call the house phone. They were supposed to ask staff for some information. I'm pretty sure they denied it like every other time they do everything. I don't know what it's gonna take. They can say what they want about me. At least I know the truth. I know I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, maltreatment, physical, emotional, mental. I'm a 27-year-old survivor. from birth to this day and still going. I'm a survivor, and I'm proud to document things that I don't have to pay back. And I'm a survivor, and I always will be. I always have been. I was born. I know I was being a survivor and very, very outspoken, and I am for things that I believe are wrong. And I value honesty, trust, and gonna take care of something like a promise that they're professional and licensed. And why does it just it bothers me? Why can they get away with this multiple times in different counties, in different cities, in different group home places? But then when one person or more fight for, like, my brains, I'm so stressed right now, caused by the situation still going on since April. It got worse and after April 1st, but February 1st was the first time that it started getting verbal. All because I stood up to a roommate and told her what she was doing isn't right. And like, well, they always let me. I said, well, then their job's wrong, which is true. Everything here is wrong, and I'm gonna get blamed for it. Then, if I could at least help one person in the process, then it would this whole process I've done, the research, the documentation, filling out forms, everything has been well worth my time. If I can just help one person out there, since obviously I'm not getting the help that I need and that I know I want and I need, and I'm getting denied that both by legal guardianship and the home REM itself, then I've done the best I can to protect myself by isolating away with my room locked. Clients can't come in my room without a key. I have the key and staff do. So if staff gave the client a key, that would be a no-no, just in case that ever happened. I don't know if it has yet, but if it did, that'd be a very bad no-no. Staff do have a key provided to them that came with the door that Julie installed, not maintenance. Julie did, which is why I have to kind of slam the door, not loud, but it seems loud at night specifically, because it doesn't close correctly due to the way it was, like, I guess the first installment of the actual, like, handle knob thing itself was. It's brand new. The one before was silver. This one's goldish, like copper colored. But the first one had a keyhole on the outside, but it wouldn't lock on the inside. No matter how hard I tried it, it wouldn't lock. And I did request this month for a lock and keyed door. Due to I have a government cell phone, a ZTE Greyjoy missing. I have several broken property items that are mine that are worth good value broken. I just noticed that when I was packing up stuff yesterday. And they've always sat in the same spot, so I don't know how they got broke. My new headphones I just bought, I left my door open a few times. And then I learned after, I keep my door locked, and when I go to the bathroom, I shut the fan off so I can hear if people are going in my room or not, because that's how bad it's gotten. There's been times where I'm sure they've opened my door. I could hear it. Because I know the difference between my roommate's doors and my door. See, when I go to the bathroom, my room is furthest away from the upstairs bathroom, so it'll sound more distant than either of the other two roommates' rooms. And I can tell the difference between downstairs and upstairs. I may have hearing fade in and out here and there because medical reasons that have not been checked and have been refused again. I'm denied there. Check my chart. It's always no-show. It's not a cancellation. It's a no-show. I have never refused and not canceled an appointment. I usually will cancel them and then not tell staff. Like at my old group home here, I haven't. My old group home, I did that maybe 2 times out of 6 years I lived there. So that's pretty dang good. Twice out of 6 years, that's good. I have been denied a well woman exam, my annual prevention exam for Guardian from Lutheran Social Services. I have not gotten the flu shot for 3 years. And my guardian's been aware of all this. She's been aware. She's ignored it. She's been told that she needs to fix it. And she attempts to, which is called the house phone, but she's never emailed me since August 10th until just recently. Okay, so August 10th, the email stopped, and then this past Monday, one email from her stating, "Can you please call me? I need to talk to you." And I'm thinking, okay, well, you have the house phone, you can call that. You have my cell phone, you have my other 3 numbers, you can call that. Why are you emailing me too? And I do admit, yes, the way I was quite verbally combative, but this situation long enough, and many people would be doing the same thing I would have, be hurt because the way they're feeling like they're being put down. And I feel living here, honestly, I cannot live my life successfully and to the fullest I'm meant to be because, if it's not the house, it's my guardian. If it's not my guardian, it's the house, or it's both. They go hand in hand, but also separate at the same time. Just how, as I have reached out to call her many, many, many times, and then one particular time my guardian said, "You know what, I'm going to be gone from this and this. Don't call me, email." In fact, I have the email. She stated emailing me is most best. Okay, well, I've emailed her. I've emailed her again. I don't hardly ever hear back from her unless it has to do on my brain on her terms. It has to be on her terms that I contact her or she contacts me, not my terms. Even if I needed her, it's ignored. She sends me straight to voicemail. She admitted that in the meeting. She ignores my calls, emails, voice messages, and texts. I have it on recording, the whole thing, from the point where she said, I'm gonna call, you're gonna go in and get evaluated because I didn't get a reason at the time, but due to the eviction notice I did, it was due to, I escalated so badly that she needed me. I didn't escalate. I got verbally was arguing with them because I disagreed with how they were treating me and the reason why they didn't want me to move. Okay, so I was told by my husband the reason why that I have been given by my guardian, legal professional company guardian, Zreen Abdu Habdi, was her reason was where is it here? Oh, it's she did not approve of me to move because it's for my safety, and that my boyfriend's mother / legal guardian was not in agreement with me residing there. That is very untruthful according to what my husband has said. My husband said the only reason she didn't want me there that one time for that week and few days was because she was not notified. I did not lie. For the record, I did not. I did tell them it was okay off what he was telling me. I didn't really have written proof. It was just verbal. His mom, and he said his mom was fine. I believe failure I have been since April 1st. I know I have been. I've been a failure my whole life is how I felt. Everybody always does the same thing to me. You're a vulnerable adult, can't make your decisions, can't do this, can't do that. And that's when my mom became my guardian and she had full control over it. And it's still going. I don't know what it will take. If doing this research and getting actual full of real, truthful knowledge from law libraries, from lawyers, if that's not advocating and preventing myself from maltreatment, then I don't know what is. Because according to them, it should be caving in and putting up with it and not fighting. No, that's the total opposite. In fact, that's proving that you're a vulnerable adult, not a adult who can make their own decisions. In fact, I have done way much better. And see, the thing is, they wouldn't know because they never come into my room. They all they see is when I open the door, and I even open it very minimal so that I can squeeze through. They just look. All they see is the area where my bed is. They don't see behind the door and how it is legitimately clean, not to spick and span, but to at least health and safety standards it is. And the only reason why they have to come in and I've denied them to clean my room is because I was told they were just going to remove the garbage and clean that up, not the whole entire room. That's what I don't like, is people can miscommunicate. Staff can say one thing that they were told to someone else, and I wouldn't know because I stay in my room. I stay away from them. So what they communicate, what they say about me or for me or on my behalf, I have no idea about. I only know what I do in my room, and that's it. And I have been researching the laws, rules, regulations, protocols, statutes. I'm to the point where I'm just out of breath, man, and I'm just not going to do anything anymore besides stay in my room until the move out date. Because I was told that they, as in my guardian, has to talk with me and find a place for me to live. But just because they have to doesn't mean they will. I mean, that's what everyone's saying nowadays when group home stuff. It's like they should and they have to, and then we're all like, that doesn't mean they're gonna or they will. Because recently to go applications for the places that I want, and I filled out and found information on at least 20. I have one application for the particular apartment that I want to live in with my husband. It's filled out, and I was told, I also have the email stating, I was told they would send a $35 application fee, and that covers the 15 for the 15 for the for the background check, and then it cost, I think, was it 25? I don't remember looking at it, but the fee to process the thing was 25, or was it the other way around? I don't remember. I'm not looking at it. Like I said, I'm just exhausted from trying to fight and get my needs met and have other people in safe situations that I'm accused of not doing or doing. I'm just exhausted. I can't fight like this no more. And it's hard. I got no one, like my husband and his family know of this, but they're doing what they can from 3 hours away. Like they don't want to come. He doesn't want to come to St. Cloud because he was put through the same thing I'm going through by the same guardian I have now that used to be both our guardians, which I've been told. I even told her, I'm like, that's a conflict of interest, and I would like a different guardian. I never got a different guardian. She kept, for 3 years, we had the same guardian, Darla, Tony Brown, and now Nizreen Abduhabdi from LSS. And LSS was aware, and they also denied it, saying, well, we can. It's just we can't talk about each other and that. They did. She did. They talked about DC to me to DC, and him and my. How is that okay? That's obviously a violation of the Act meant to protect us. In fact, it caused me to be in this situation because I advocated for him, and I guess, I don't know, something. I feel like I'm just stuck in the middle between a war zone, legitimately. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, but then it's literally how I feel. I'm in the middle. Here's me. I'm in the middle. There's my guardian, and there's the whole REM company staff. And they're going, like, demonstrations and stuff. So sorry. Right? I'm in the middle. So they're going from the middle, from here to here, without going in between me and telling me the same thing they're telling others. It's staff tell guardian, and I'm totally out of the blue and clueless, like I have until they contact me last minute or a few days before incidents. That's not an email or in with hair. I never had an issue with that, and I said, what? No, I call BS, because you've always said you don't want me down there because his family doesn't want me near, doesn't want me living with him, want nothing to do with me, they hate me. That's not true. The only reason I thought they hate me, and I started to think that, because the first person who said it was my legal guardian. And then she got staff saying it, so of course they kept telling me something over and over, and all I saw was the results of it because I was kept separated from contacting him or his family for like a long time. So yeah, I thought it was true. What else am I supposed to do, Like, not believe it? Well, I looked into it, and like, I mean, he ended up blocking me for a long time because of this situation. And I took the blame for him a lot. And I never told the truth that it was because of staff and my guardian. But I took the blame, and now his family hates me and thinks it's my. So, I don't know. Something has to be done. I'm going to still fight to make sure all group homes get checked into by state and government officials that run health and safety and care. Ridiculous. how everyone, not just me, people I just met, like one time even, have gone through this and know people through it. I gathered their names. I remember their names. If I don't write things down, there's a trick I learned: 5 to 10 times the name and the name, phone number, or whatever they give me, and then I will remember it. I go home and I write it down. Type it down or email it to myself, and I always remember that way. That's a trick I learned to develop recently this year, since I don't really get reminders from staff. If I do, it's a little late reminders. It's basically like, oh well, we've tried to attempt to remind you and reached your guardian. That I'm like, she never called me. I've never lied about the times that I've said, well, they never talked to me about that. That's actually been true, because on the recording I have on Monday with me and my guardian talking, she even said, well, no, Paige, I have been notified and you have not been doing this. And they didn't tell me that I was going to not in a physically aggressive person. And I have not been towards people or animals or any living object since I was a teenager. After I turned 18 and I was an adult, I started hitting like metal walls and stuff. That was only 2 years worth. Just, I was at my old group home, not this one. This is my second residential group home in the history of being an adult. Second. And I constantly get asked the question, then why am I still in one? The honest truth is, when I was set to move out, I had a date, time, and everything. Different caddy worker and different, and I forewarned her before. I'm scared, and they're like, she's like, well, why would you do this to yourself? We just want you. You've accessed every goal, you've completed everything here. You don't need our services. And I said, well, I'll make it look like it then. I'm scared. I don't want to move. And I started crying. I went into the meeting and I had pretty much, in a sense, I started crying and arguing against him, saying, no, I'm not ready. I said, yeah, I did, but I don't want to. And ended up staying there. And that's how I'm still currently in a group home. The only number one reason why I am appointed a legal guardian right now is I was not notified back in 2010 to discharge my guardianship, and have me have my rights back and have a conservator. But I was told different ways. So I looked into that, and that was actually the case. I was told Morrison County now does the typing and filing for Stearns County now. And then so I reached, then I anyway, and frustration type vlog. I guess I'll talk to you guys later, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Bye.